live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Yes, it is. Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. Monday, May 1st, we're talking about flooding. Are you surprised? There's a good concern in certain areas for flood potential. Daniel Woodruff joins us live along Emigration Creek. Our Amanda Gilbert in the Ogden area talking about the Weber River. And then we're also going to talk about what's coming up tonight at 10 o'clock with Christina Flores. Very interesting if you're in the dating realm. I don't want to give away too much, but this one's pretty crazy. Let's take a look at it. What is making headlines right now? KUTV.com, a DNA analyst on the stand today in the Lori Vallow Daybell triple murder trial. Keely Coleman told the jury that police found a piece of hair on duct tape that was wrapped around a bag containing JJ's remains. She said that hair belonged to Lori Vallow. Also making headlines on our website, an Ogden family may sue police over a rough arrest caught on camera. We've showed you this video time and time again. Sean Sims and his mom have hired Salt Lake City attorney Robert Sykes. Last month, officers were caught on camera repeatedly punching Sims while he was on the ground. The department called their actions justified. The Washington County School District says their new taxation plan will save taxpayers $5. The district says this is a 10-year plan to completely eliminate the need for bonds to build, rehab, or update buildings. Finally, the governor with an announcement today, just kicking off a statewide program to conserve water called Grass Doesn't Belong Everywhere. Under the program, homeowners can receive up to $3 per square foot when replacing grass with more water-efficient landscaping. They're going waterwise. As we go in depth tonight, use the hashtag 2NewsLive. Join us on the conversation. Very easy to do. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Got to check those DMs on TikTok, too. You can find us there. We're going in depth with flood coverage tonight. We have multiple flood warnings for multiple rivers and creeks across the state. One we've been talking about over the last few months is where Daniel Woodruff is, near Emigration Creek in Salt Lake City. Daniel, there is a flood warning in effect. What are you seeing right there now? What are the conditions like?
Well, we're standing right along the creek here, just at the mouth of Emigration Canyon. And if you look right over behind me, it doesn't look at all like a creek. It looks like a raging river. That water has been pouring out of there just with force for days and days and days. That's the danger here, is the snowmelt's coming out so quickly that it's just, in many cases, overwhelming the Emigration Creek. We were up the canyon earlier today, and we're not seeing homes flooded, but we are seeing, in one instance, a house that was there with sandbags lined up, piled up 5 or 6 high or so, and the water just hitting against those sandbags because the river, the creek, has come up over its banks, over the driveway, hitting the sandbags and then going back into the creek. We were at another house up the canyon where they have normally just a little creek going through their yard, and this is just a raging river covering way more ground than they're used to seeing. The couple that I was with pointed to one tree that was right in the middle of the water, and they said normally that tree is not at all in the water. It normally is on dry land. So that's kind of a picture as to what they're dealing with here. They're saying, according to the mayor that I talked to, the Emigration Township mayor and others, the National Weather Service, that the creek is going to crest tonight, and then it's going to crest at other points. So right now it's not at its high stage, but it certainly made a lot of people nervous with how much it is and the potential it has in the upcoming hours to get worse.
Daniel, seems like everyone up there is pretty positive. I was up there a few weeks ago when the water started rising again. It didn't look anything like this, but they're ready for it, it seems, right? I mean, at this point, they're doing all that they can do around their properties?
They hope they're ready. Hope is the key word. So the mayor told me that, residents told me that. They hope that they've done enough. In many cases, they put up a lot of sandbags. They hope that will keep out the water from getting into homes. There is, incidentally, more sandbagging tonight, so they're not done. At 6 o'clock, in about 30 minutes from now, they're going to start doing some more volunteer sandbagging here at the park where I'm at the mouth of the canyon, and then at multiple locations up Emigration Canyon. And basically, that's just, let's get more sandbags ready and distribute them to homeowners who need it so that everybody can be as ready as possible. But bottom line, the mayor says he hopes they've done enough to prevent against whatever type of rising water or potential flooding will come tonight or over the next couple of days.
Daniel Woodruff reporting live for us tonight in Salt Lake City. Daniel, thank you. Early this month, the mayor there Emigration Canyon Metro Township declared a local state of emergency for that location based on mudslides and debris flow and heavy flow from that creek. So something to keep an eye on. We want to hear from you at home. How concerned are you that record high temperatures could indeed cause significant flooding or runoff problems? Scan the QR code on your screen right there. We've seen the poll change since the 5 o'clock hour. 37% of you saying it's going to be worse than 1983, the historic year we've been talking about for quite a bit. Just 9% going to be the same as 1983. 43 saying won't be as bad as 1983. The remaining amount won't be bad in most areas. Scan the QR code there to weigh into tonight's poll. Continuing to keep an eye on flooding as we go in depth tonight. A flood warning is in effect for the lower Weber River near Plain City. That's where our Amanda Gilbert is. Amanda, what have you been seeing out there today?
Yeah, Brian. Okay, so tomorrow is when the Weber River is supposed to reach flood stage, which is 27 feet as of this morning. According to the National Weather Service, the Weber River was at about 25 feet, so pretty close to that 27 feet. So what is Weber County Emergency Management doing? Well, there is a big channel behind me. This is usually dry. They have opened up this channel to divert some of the Weber River this way. This is one thing they are doing. Also, the sheriff's office says they're actually using drones to kind of monitor the area and look for any blockage. That is a big concern. They don't want, debris blockage to prevent the river from flowing the way it needs to flow. So those are two big things. I spoke with some people here near Plain City. It's a very rural area. There's a lot of kind of farmland, and I spoke with some farmers who have already seen the Weber River kind of creep up onto their property. They say they're just kind of watching that. I know one man was kind of building these big dirt mounds by the Weber River to protect his farmland as best he could. But right now it's all just kind of eyes and being cautious. Brian, back to you.
Amanda, you've been covering flooding and preps for us in Weber County and other parts of northern Utah over the last few weeks. Do things look different for you now in the places that you've gone?
Yeah, it's different in that the river just seems to keep rising and it keeps moving faster. I think that's the biggest thing you notice. It's just like, is it going to break the bank? That's the biggest thing. Everyone's just watching and hoping it doesn't happen. So I know we're all just kind of keeping our eyes close on the Weber River out here.
Amanda Gilbert reporting live for us in Weber County near Plain City. Amanda, thanks so much. 2 News has you covered this spring as our flood risk continues with meteorologist Chase Thomason. Looking here at part of the Weber River coming down 84, that power plant area right where it gets so windy and that winds just whip through the canyon. You can see some little white caps there, but what are you keeping your eye on over the next day or two?
I mean, honestly, it's every river, stream, and creek right now in northern and central Utah. That's where we're seeing those flood warnings, flood advisories, flood watches. So everything is rising. The one thing that I'm noticing is that they're approaching minor flood stage. That's, I guess, maybe the silver lining. Not seeing any major flood stage. That might change later in the week. But the good news is that we do have some cooler weather that will be moving in by the end of the week. So hopefully that'll slow some of the snow melt.
Just quickly, when people are looking at your graphics, which a warning, an advisory, which one should be most concerning if you live nearby?
Always a warning. So if you think about ingredients, when it's severe weather, when it's flooding, watch just means you need to be on watch, be prepared for maybe what's coming. Warning means you need to take action immediately. But with flooding, we have different stages of that warning as well when we talk about minor risk, moderate risk, and then that major flooding. And we right now aren't seeing any major flooding concerns right now, but we'll be approaching minor flood stage and maybe moderate flood stage on some of those rivers and creeks like Emigration Creek. That could hit moderate stage.
On watch, always on watch here. The 2 News weather team. Don't go anywhere. We're going to catch up with you here in just a sec. 2 News has you covered this spring as our risk for flooding continues. Download our 2 News app for breaking news, alerts on issues around the state, and to see our past stories on ways that you and your family can protect your home and property. We've covered a lot of this right here on 2 News Live as we continue to go in depth. Let's come on back to meteorologist Chase Thomason here. We were looking at the river. They're running high. Here's another camera for you. Chalk Creek River in Fillmore. So we're diving into part of central Utah for this one from Utah's Flood Watch cameras. Water's moving nicely there. Oh, we get the beauty of the camera moving on us,
Nice,
which
I
is
like
cool.
that.
So we get two perspectives here on 2 News Live. This is an area that I don't believe was in a watch or a warning
Nope.
or an advisory at this point, right?
They're not, and we're going to go through all those warnings here coming up in just a moment. But of course, this is all because of snow melt, not because of a thunderstorm, which is what we typically see.
This
some
has
flooding
changed
issues.
so much since you and I last talked.
It has, but it's still quite high. We still have 76% left of our snowpack. So we've been melting that snow at a rapid rate, almost an inch of water per day with these record-breaking temperatures. But again, we still have a lot to go through for the next several weeks.
Well, you heard from Amanda Gilbert. She and a lot of our reporters have been out there covering flood preps, certain areas that have had mudslides and landslides and debris, and in areas they're trying to clear culverts. And she just said, well, every time I go out here, the river seems to feel like it's rising. And
just keeps getting higher and higher.
This will continue.
And there's still a lot of snow to melt, so those rivers will continue to go up. But the good thing is with some cooler weather, by the end of the week and into the weekend, we can slow the snow melt and those rivers can catch up and hopefully stop rising. So let's get right to your forecast and we'll talk about those flood watches and warnings that we have here in Utah. There are a lot of them to go over. Let's start down in southern Utah near Panguitch and Hatch, the Sevier River. That's where we have a flood warning. Again, supposed to hit minor flood stage over the coming days. This is what we likely see during the evening hours as all that afternoon warmth melts that snow, takes some time for that river to really rise, and then we hit flood stage during the evening hours or even overnight. We also have a flood warning for the Dolores River just east of Moab. We have a flood advisory approaching flood stage for the Thistle Creek in southern Utah County. This is the flood warning for Emigration Creek, and that's for the remainder of the week. Could hit flood stage later tonight and again crest again tomorrow night. We also have a flood watch for East Canyon. That's near Jeremy Ranch. Flood warning for the lower Weber River. That's where we had Amanda across the northern end of the Wasatch Front in Weber County. In the Ogden Valley, the South Fork of the Ogden River, we have a flood warning. Also a flood warning for Little Bear River across Cache County. And this is new this afternoon, is now a flood warning for the Garden City area. There's no river, but we're seeing rapid snowmelt coming off the mountains and into the Bear Lake area, which is causing some issues in and around the Garden City region. Now today we broke a record, yesterday we broke a record, so this is more like summer and not spring weather, just too warm. 87 yesterday and 88 degrees today in Salt Lake City, and we're still in the 80s this afternoon up and down the Wasatch Front under mostly sunny skies. Tonight we'll cool off into the 40s and 50s, which is relatively mild. Tomorrow's another pretty warm day with 70s and 80s, but we might drop a couple degrees across the state. Still going to stay windy. We've had those gusty winds in western Utah. We're going to do it again for tomorrow. Overall, it's well above normal. We have a couple more days left of warm weather. Then eventually this storm out to our west, which is causing the wind, will be moving in. That won't happen until Thursday and into Friday. And with this storm rolling into Utah, we'll see those temperatures drop dramatically, 15, maybe 20 degrees. It'll feel more like early May, which is a bit of good news. And then we'll see a chance for a few showers and storms, and that might even linger in northern Utah over the weekend. But I think our best chance for rain will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. St. George, your best chance for rain will be on Thursday. But notice we go from the low 80s, windy, into the mid 60s on Thursday. Might see a spotty shower or storm on Friday, but the weekend down in St. George looks dry and pleasant with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Salt Lake, we're still too warm in the low 80s. I know it's pleasant, but we want to be closer to average. But we see temperatures drop to the low 70s on Thursday. A few evening showers and storms, hit or miss showers and storms Friday and Saturday, mid 60s, which is closer to normal, and will likely stay in the mid 60s as we head into early next week. Not going to be a washout this weekend, but keep your eyes to the sky. There will be a little bit of rain nearby. Hopefully we don't see any heavy rain, because if we do see heavy rain on top of that snowpack, that could also cause some flooding issues. But the good news is that we drop into the 60s, so the rivers, creeks, and streams can catch up.
So this part's preferred.
Yes.
I don't know about this stuff right here. I don't know.
We'll be watching it. You know, it's going to be scattered, so not everyone's going to get the rainfall. So that's good news. It's not that widespread rain. But again, pockets of heavy rain in certain areas, that might cause some problems.
Tonight, is it when the sun goes down? That's when some of those creeks really
Usually
can crest?
9 to 11 o'clock is usually when we see a lot of those rivers and streams crest. So that's kind of the time frame.
I won't pepper you as to why, but I am curious. We could save it for another time.
It's because it's the 10 o'clock newscast
There you
and
go.
your live shot.
They want to see.
That's the
I will
reason.
be out there tonight, so I wanted to make sure you get to see some interesting
We'll see
stuff.
it. We'll be watching.
Thank you, Chase. Remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about changes in your neighborhood. Get updated forecasts, some live radar right at the palm of your hand. The app is free to download. You know who's got the app? Christina Flores. She's joining me now. She gets all of her updates from there. But now, Christina and I are going to talk about something interesting.
Yes.
So the dating game has gotten complicated these days.
So we hear.
I wouldn't know. You wouldn't. We were talking about this. But not only are people looking to date someone with good looks, capability, maybe a good career, maybe, you've all got your own type.
Criteria, yeah.
But now some people are asking prospective dates, how much money do you owe? Not how much money do you make. How much do you owe?
How much do you owe?
What are
That's
you looking
really
at?
important. So there was a survey done recently by a company called Western and Southern Financial Group, and they polled all these people who were already married, and asked them about, the things they did when they were dating regarding their finances. And it turns out that a lot of younger people, millennials, Gen Z, they think that people with high debt are a liability, right? Millennials, for example, from what I understand, this group is particularly together. They're very picky because they've all got retirement accounts. They have good jobs. They've invested maybe in real estate. So, they expect to find a partner that's the same as they are, right? So Gen Zers, they also look down on debt. Not as much on credit card, more on credit card debt than like student loans, for example, because most young people nowadays have student loans. But credit card debt, very much frowned upon when you're dating someone. So some people are starting to have that conversation when they're dating. What's your credit score? How much do you owe? Because they want to know, if you're going to eventually have a future with this person, if they have a lot of debt, it's going to affect you as a couple, and it's going to affect your goals together, buying a house, starting a family, those kinds of things.
I was chuckling, but it does make sense, though, because if you're looking at long term, you don't want to be in the hole for something that maybe you could have known about. It's just interesting that it's happening now.
Right. Well, and everything's very expensive right now. So young people are smart to ask these questions, because if they do want to get involved with someone in the long term, then, things are expensive now. You have to know, what you're getting into and what you could afford and what you can't afford.
Love advice from Christina Flores. It's
well,
all we do
not
here.
really. I don't know a lot about that.
I mean, there's a little bit here.
Yeah.
Here. This is very interesting. This is tonight at 10 o'clock, right?
Tonight at 10 o'clock, we'll get into also when to have the conversation. Probably not on your first date, right? But eventually it's a good conversation.
That's probably how you don't see that individual
right, exactly,
again, right?
Exactly.
Christina, thank you, as always, for popping by. Always looking to help people save money if you can. See all of our past reporting. You can head to our website, KUTV.com. Click on the Eye on Your Money tab. You can also submit tips, some content ideas. Her email is on the screen, very easy to find. cflores@KUTV2.com. Let's talk about what is trending on our website, KUTV.com. Right now, we don't necessarily say it's trending, but it is the top story. We talked about it towards the top of our show. The DNA analyst that was taking the stand today in the Lori Vallow Daybell homicide or murder trial. There's been a lot of conversation about this over the years. That is the main story you can find right on the center part of our website, but we want to also show you what is trending. Just so happens the topic that we've been talking about here on 2 News Live, flooding, started this morning with some road closures, some rock fall, some areas that maybe made the morning commute a little difficult. That is our top story. You got to check the second one out. The video's awesome. You ever been to Jordanelle? Maybe you know this perspective, but the water just melting away in the span of what looked, at least the ice, right? The ice just melting away, not the water. But it looks really cool, like 30 seconds into that video, it just dissipates. It's fascinating. And then a couple more stories that are trending right now on our website, KUTV.com. You can always find all of those stories on the KUTV mobile app, which you can download on your Apple App Store or Google Play, or you could do it the old-fashioned way. You can type in KUTV.com. May is Melanoma Awareness Month. Doctors are calling today Melanoma Monday to raise awareness. Dermatologists say skin cancer is on the rise with about 200,000 cases of melanoma each year. It's the deadliest form, but treatable if caught early. The American Academy of Dermatology says the best prevention is to wear sunscreen and sun protective clothing and watch for changes to your skin.
If you have a spot on your skin that has looked the same your whole life, and suddenly the edges might look different, or the color changes, if the size changes, that's an important factor.
Well, it really is something to take seriously, especially right now as the change of the season, something you might not be thinking about. Temperatures aren't where they are, but if you are skiing or snowboarding on the weekend perhaps, and you're up there, you got the goggles on, you say, I don't need the face mask. This is the time to lather up. Studies show using tanning beds before the age of 20 can increase your chances of developing melanoma by 47%. So there are things you can do.
Can we just bring him in?
He doesn't want to be here.
Come on.
He doesn't want to be here.
Come on, we got to call you out.
So there's a reason why.
Look at this. You can see that right there.
It happened. And it's obviously not a joking matter, but
no.
Wear your sunscreen. Yes. See?
When you're skiing, or
when
you
you're
get
skiing,
the goggles.
snowboarding.
And we're all pasty right now after that winter, so I know you want to get some sun, but
it's actually
lather
a really good goggle tan, too. Like, it's
is.
quite impressive. Thanks for watching 2 News Live. We'll try to be impressive tomorrow through Friday at 5:30. Chase Thomas and Brian Schnee, many others who make the show go round, if you will, both on the camera and
sunburn
behind the scenes. And yes, sunburn and all. We couldn't do this without him. Have a great rest of your Monday. See you tomorrow.